Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome to my World Cup quarterfinal predictions. That's right ladies and gentlemen, only 8 teams remain in the 2022 World Cup. I can't believe it. I feel like we've been waiting forever for this World Cup to arrive and now it's pretty much over already. But saying that 8 teams left in the World Cup, quarterfinals on their way, this is where the World Cup truly begins in my opinion. This is where the big dogs end up taking each other and it is a fight to the death. Okay, well, maybe not to the death. That might be a bit dramatic. But at the end of the day, we've got some top quality games to talk about, so let's jump into it. Game number 1 that we're going to be talking about will be Croatia versus Brazil. Now, of course, what a game to cover. And of course, Findinho has you covered. I mean, I probably can't call myself that. I'm probably the whitest person I know. So take away the Dino, I just don't deserve it. But looking at Croatia versus Brazil. Now, to be 100% honest with you, I'm sorry, Isaac, no hard feelings here. I just don't see Croatia winning this one. I mean, I like this Croatian national team. They've proven time and time again that they are a top quality footballing nation. But versus Japan, I wasn't that impressed. They could have easily won that. I mean, it's just the fact that Japan have no idea how to take a penalty. I do like this Croatian national team, but only one win so far at this World Cup. They haven't been playing to the level that I thought they would in this competition. And versus a Brazil national team that is just firing on every single level. I mean, let's be honest, Brazil are playing the World Cup on FIFA easy mode at this stage. And because of that, I do think Brazil will take it. And I'm going to give them, I'm going to be nice to an extent and give them a 2-0 win. I don't see Croatia scoring here. As I said, no hard feelings, Croatia. I do like this national team. They've shown on many occasions that they can beat absolutely anyone in the world. But just looking at Brazil with their current form, yes, I know they lost to Cameroon, but they're already qualified for the next stage already, so they didn't have that pressure on them. I do like this Brazil national team, and I do think they'll end up taking the points. Now, heading into our next game, we have Netherlands versus Argentina. Now, when I said early on in the video that it's that stage of the competition where it truly starts to feel like the World Cup, this is the kind of fixture I'm talking about. Netherlands, who many people probably think about as the best football nation of all time, never to win the World Cup, is this the year that they finally do it? As you know, they've been phenomenal so far this competition. We saw that versus USA. I think we've seen it throughout the whole of the competition. Defensively, super solid. Attacking-wise, super good at the moment. And versus Argentina, they could give Argentina run for their money. Because I will be honest with you, although Argentina have been getting the necessary points, they're not quite blowing me out of the water the way that I thought they would. They're not dominating games that I thought they would end up dominating. I mean, as we saw earlier in the competition, lost to Saudi Arabia. They weren't brilliant versus Mexico or Poland. And even in their game versus Australia, they didn't quite dominate it the way I thought they would. Saying that, it is still a very top nation. And I do think heading into this game, a part of me does think Netherlands could take it. Part of me thinks that Argentina could take it. But I'm going to end up putting a 1-1 draw and it could get messy in the penalties. I mean, Messi's not that great at penalties, so maybe that's not the best analogy. What I'm trying to say is I think it will go down to penalties and I do think Argentina will just scrape it, although it could genuinely go either way. Now, of course, before we jump into game number 3, let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe, as the goal is still 10,000 before the end of the year. I don't think we'll reach it, but you know what? We might as well try. Once again, thank you for all the support throughout this year. Would really appreciate 10,000 subscribers. But hey, once again, every single subscriber matters. I do appreciate it. But jumping into our next game, we have Morocco versus Portugal. Now, that Morocco game last night, at the time of recording it, looking at Morocco, they were brilliant versus Spain. I mean, yes, they didn't have majority of possession, but Morocco have proven time and time again throughout this tournament, with less than 30% possession on average throughout the whole competition, that they can dominate football games. They are brilliant on the ball. It is a brilliant Moroccan team, and I am worried about them versus a team like Portugal. Because once again, looking at Portugal, they're one of those teams that you can't really predict, although that's the whole point of this video, because when they're good, they are so insanely good. We saw that versus Switzerland. But when they're bad, once again, they really are bad. I think we saw that versus South Korea. Once again, we saw that versus Serbia in the World Cup qualifications. So it all goes down to which Portuguese national team are we going to get versus Morocco. I've had a lot of people talk to me in my comment section lately saying that I have been underestimating Morocco, but I don't know if I've been underestimating them as much as I've been overestimating their opponents.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Once again, Morocco have been super good, but their opponents haven't been playing at the level that I thought they would. Spain was a very good example of that, and whether Morocco can do it once again versus Portugal, can Morocco become the first ever African nation to reach a World Cup semi-final?
You can do it!
I really so badly want African nations to do well at this World Cup, and I'm so sorry, Morocco. I know people are just going to say it once again in the comment section down below that I'm underestimating them, and I'll be proven wrong, but unfortunately I can't see it happening versus Portugal. Once again, I'd absolutely love to see Morocco in the next stage, but something about this Portuguese national team looks so good on their day. I do feel like it will be a 2-1 victory once again if it went down to penalties. That would also be brilliant, but I do think Portugal will just take it. I mean, looking at them in their previous game versus Switzerland, I mean, they didn't even play the top goal scorer of all time in the history of football, and they still had a striker who scored a hat-trick.
That I felt betrayed.
They played a 39-year-old centre-back, and even he scored a goal. This Portuguese national team on every single level is so strong, and I'm just not sure Morocco can hold up. Once again, I'd love for it to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, that takes us to our final quarter-final game with England versus France. Now, once again, a little birdie told me that Kylian Mbappe has picked up a tiny bit of an injury, but unfortunately for England, it does seem like he will be back for that game. Once again, England, this is your true, real test. We knew heading to this World Cup, I know even a lot of England fans had a lot of doubt about this England team, but this is where you truly get tested, because if England can beat France, I think they can make it absolutely anywhere in the competition. Obviously, as we know, France, once again, they've had their ups and downs throughout the competition. Obviously, beating Poland 3-1 in their previous game. It kind of went to the 90th minute for them to finally confirm that victory. Obviously, as we know before that, lost to Tunisia. So this game really could be up to a twin cost, to be honest with you. I do think England have it in their power. I feel like a lot of people are kind of underestimating how far they can make it. I do think England have been good this competition. And dare I say it, it is another game that could go down to penalties.
Shut up and take my money!
And that's exactly what I'm going to go for. I feel like this game could be a 2-2 draw, and I think England will take it on penalties. I feel like France's best penalty takers are injured and are out of the World Cup, and therefore England could take it. But if it did have to be a 90th minute win, I do think it could go either way. But as I said, I do think England will take it. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for my quarterfinal predictions for the World Cup 2022. As I said, only 8 teams remaining. This is where the World Cup really gets serious, and that is where, at this point of the competition, anyone who's made it this far could go all the way. Obviously, guys, let me know down below who you think at this point in time you think will win the World Cup. Do you think it will be France, England, Argentina, Portugal? Do you even think at this point in time Morocco could take the World Cup? Ladies and gentlemen, let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help the channel out. And I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.